Yeah, so I decided to come up here this morning. And I want to show you something. First off, I want to say that for anybody that's paid attention to anything I've said in the dating scene topic over the last couple, 3 months, I've been doing this for a long time. But I've said a lot of very crucial stuff that applies to the day society, about men within general, how women are more, well, they've outsmarted the men, that's for sure. Because they stand together a whole lot better than men ever did. Men are too busy throwing each other under the bus, criticizing each other, calling each other names. You know, I've been called a woman hater so many times in the last 50, since I've been doing this for a bunch of years now. It's pathetic, okay? I've been told I'm mentally insane, that I have issues, that I'm a woman hater. I've been called just about everything you think of from that. If there's a bad name to be called, it's been called to me, okay? Because I dared to speak about truth. And the majority of the time, it's always by men, okay? Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I have been attacked by females too. Okay, there are females who have attacked me over the years because they're offended over the fact that I dare to speak the truth and I'm not biting into the double standards and shutting my mouth and keeping them where they shouldn't be, allowing corruption to continue. So, with that being said, I got something I want to show you. I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to come back and talk about this, okay? Pastor Dow, I don't know how many people have watched him, okay? I'm not a religious person. You people who know me knows what I feel about the Bible, the script, and the whole 9 yards. But I also don't take other people's rights to their beliefs away from them, okay? That's just something I don't do. That would be being a hypocrite. That would be being just like the powers to be, telling somebody else what they can and cannot believe. That's not up to me. They have a right to their own beliefs, okay? Pastor Dow, the way I look at Pastor Dow is this way. He's a pastor. He has his own belief system. But the one thing I do respect Pastor Dow for and like Pastor Dow for is the man's a very brutally honest man. He really is. Okay? And honesty is the virtue for me. That's what I go with. Okay, so with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up a video and I'm going to show you this. Okay, and so you'll get a chance to see this for yourself. First, I've got to get this thing set up to where I want it. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and play this. Watch this, and then I'll be back with you here in a few seconds, okay?
You're going to be running the risk of upsetting a lot of people. I realize this. And I realize that you cannot please everybody at all times. Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer out here, and let me just tell you this from the get-go, from the front, from Jumpstart. I'm not a male chauvinist pig. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not against soft and feminine men. With all that said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about.
I totally understand why Pastor Dow said them things, okay? He had to. He's going to be attacked, and he knows he's going to be attacked just as I've been.
This because it needs to be talked about. And not only that, I mean, probably out of all the emails that I get, and how many email accounts I have? 1, 2, 3. I got 3 possible ways that I receive emails. And out of all the emails that I get, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something too. I want you to look here for a second. See on my phone right here, see that M right there? Let me put it over. See that M? How many emails does that say? It says 5,302. That's just in my Gmail account. I'll let you know I'm not playing games. But out of all the emails that I received, probably 85% of the emails that I received is all based on relationships, marriage, divorce, what do you do? How should I carry myself as a man? How should I carry myself as a woman? Blase, blase, blase. Well, today, believe it or not, I'm receiving a lot of emails. And mind you, this is because it's raining out here. It's been raining an extraordinary amount of time. And we just simply can't do nothing outside today. Not as far as building goes. But when I comb back over these emails for a couple of weeks, because I'm way behind, I hear and I read and I see over and over again women being upset because they cannot find a man to marry them. And of course, let me go from the beginning. First of all, number one, a woman does not look for a husband. It's up to a man to find the woman. And of course, we all know that when a man finds a wife, he found a good thing, and he obtains favor from the Most High. Anyway, but when you really truly look at this environment that we're in today, you can clearly see that men are acting a whole lot more rationally than they did years ago. You know, the average age of a male man being married, let's go 20-something years ago, was like 22 to 24 years old. Now, the average age of a man being what you call married by the state is 29 to 31 years old. Boy, in other words, men are opting out of marriage today. And men are acting a whole lot more rational today than ever before. They're moving real slow. And I think at the advent of the information superhighway, the internet, it's revealing a lot of things that otherwise men all across the world wouldn't know how bad and how systemic of a problem that it really truly is. Because at a click of a button, they can find so much information, so much statistics on this, and men are just simply opting out because they don't want to be part of a victim of the choices that the United States of America has made in making laws that does not favor men whatsoever at all. Now, the men I know, they do not agree with soft, feminine men like Tucker Carlson. As a matter of fact, I have a book. I think her name is Helen Smith. I'll get to it a little bit later. Yeah, Helen Smith, author of the book called Men on Strike. And this woman is spot on. It's Dr. Helen Smith. She is literally spot on. And so don't take me on the chin for a lot of stuff that I come up with, because a lot of this I actually got from this woman with the way that she talks. As a matter of fact, I had it this morning. I must have put it back on the shelf again. But anyway, Tucker Carlson, you all know him. He's at Fox News. And he had an interview with Helen Smith, and Dr. Helen Smith. And he asserts that men need to stop crying, because she had already laid it out that there's literally no benefits for a man to be married in this system, in this present day system right here, because it's more of a liability to him than an asset. And of course, she says when you get to divorce court cases, he often loses child custody. He definitely is going to lose if he goes to the courtroom, and he's going to end up paying alimony. And it's just cheaper and better for him to opt out of marriage and never ever get married than to actually. And when we talk about getting married, we talk about if you choose to get saddled up with this government right here. Now, there's a lot of perks for getting saddled up with this government with a marriage license. It is. And I'll be the first to tell you, but you have to ask yourself if this is something that you really truly want to do. And so I'm going to cover a few things here. And I hope to provide information for both male and female, to give you what not only Dr. Helen Smith asserts, but literally truly my own sentiments and what I see going on as a pastor with the many, many different marriages I continually keep having to counsel again and again and again and again and again. All right, but he asserts, Tucker Carlson, and I say to you again that I do not share his sentiments, nor men share his sentiments. Now, maybe effeminate men and share his sentiments because he looks kind of effeminate himself. But anyway, he asserts that men need to stop crying and man up and be responsible. I go, ho. Isn't that something? He going to try to tell a man to man up? That's first of all, number one, you need to know how to be a man before you can man up and act like a man. But anyway, he says, after Dr. Smith had already laid it out for him in elegant speech, the reason why that there's literally no benefits for a man to be married under this current system right now. He said, Tucker Carlson asserts and says that a man, he gets deep satisfaction. That's what he says. He gets deep satisfaction out of being married. And the show also asserts, because there was a male and a female over there again, and all these men, anyway, suspect. But anyway, the show asserts that men, and this is what the woman stated, that not Helen Smith, but the other woman that was with Tucker Carlson, asserts that men get companionship, family, and love. And of course, then Dr. Smith says, yeah, but all of that you can have without marriage. You can have literally without a state marriage license, and people are doing it every single day. But men, I'm going to ask y'all to do something. I want y'all to listen to me, okay? I want y'all to listen to me, and please try to listen to me real good, okay? And let me put these computer glasses on here for a second, all right? If I look like a geek, don't laugh at me. I know I got to get that, some way, somehow I got to get that glare, that stuff that comes from the computer, okay? All right. So, men, you listen to me today. Men, we literally have a major problem on our hands today because it's very, very hard. And I want y'all to listen to me real good. The big problem that men have today is confronting a woman when she is cutting a fool. I don't know why that there is, because a man will go to another man with no problem whatsoever at all. Now, if he's a close friend, he may, back off a little bit and take his time about how he will approach his friend. But man, they act like they're afraid to check a woman if she's cutting a fool and putting her in a place. I just can't comprehend it. I don't understand it for the life of me. I don't. Now, you have to have self-respect. And if she does something that you don't like or tolerate, you call her on it. And if she does not like it, then move on. That's all you have to do, just simply move on. Because life is too short to have all this pain, all this suffering, all these emotional, stressful mental attacks in your life. Just simply move on. You see, the biggest problem that men have today is they don't spend enough time learning the woman and trying to figure out who she is before she gets in here. There are certain things that automatically throw up red flags. They literally automatically throw up red flags when you are speaking with a woman today. If y'all going to talk and the first thing she does is she tries to figure out how much money you make, that's automatic no-go. If she's already trying to petition you or in a roundabout way talking about children, that's an automatic no-go. I mean, you don't even know this woman, and she is already vetting you. And women, they don't do like men. A lot of times we just talk and really mean nothing about it. But when they talk to you, it's all calculated. It's all figured out. It's all been thought through carefully before they even mention anything to you. They have meditated on it probably for days on end. Whereas we just talk straight from the heart. Boy, they have talked, they have thought, They have meditated. They probably have spoke with their friends, everything else before they bring it and drop it in your lap. And you got to understand, man, your toleration of a woman's crap is proportionate to your lack of spine. Literally, you just literally don't have no spine. Anyway, many of you so eager though just to jump into the relationships, and it's just and it's like it's a battle of the simps. That's why it is. It's a battle of the simps. Who's gonna be the simplest man today? Because I mean, women are guaranteed to have a simple man today. Man, I'm supposed to put these on. Anyway, women are guaranteed to have a simple man today when you got so many simple men vying for their attention. And these are the ones that's going to continue to keep making the same old mistakes again and again and again and again and again in life. And they ain't never going to learn. They just simply ain't going to never learn. But a state marriage license is way too risky for a man today in this environment. Because 70% of all marriages in the United States of America end in divorce. If I told you, and I'm going to use rational numbers here. If I told you that we went skydiving, that this chute has a 50% chance of opening, would you go? Somebody will hold on, and no reserve. Oh man, I don't. So why in the world would you opt into marriage in this system right here that favors the woman and literally neuters and castrates the man? It's just beyond me. It really truly is. And society and its laws is to blame for this behavior right here, because when you truly start looking at this thing, I mean, just this morning I was looking at a news article, and you know what this news article said? This news article said that AI, I'm talking about sex dolls that are being made with quality bodies built to specs. In other words, a man can get a sex doll today, and over a period of time, he can have sex with the thing, do whatever he wants with it, and actually spend a whole lot less money on that sex doll than a woman that would empty his bank account and then it be saddled up for the rest of her life and be set for the rest of her life with a man paying her anywhere between $1,000 and $9,000 a month for the rest of her life. Man, you see what I'm talking about? It's pretty expensive, and things are going from bad to worse, and men just ain't doing this thing. But AI and sex dolls today made to specs. In other words, whenever a man likes, he can get a sex doll made, I mean, with a perfect body. Perfect body. And you know what I read? It is a $30 billion a year industry. $30 billion a year that men are spending on sex dolls. And then you know what? They're becoming more lifelike. Just punch it in. They're becoming more lifelike. They communicate. No nagging, no fussing, no attitudes, no griping, no complaining, no murmuring. I mean, the perks is looking up. And then, I mean, when you see this, I'm trying to find that article right there. If I don't, I'm going to include it down here, okay? I'm going to include it down here. But, I mean, with that sex doll, that doll is not going to get up and go waste all this man's money on a bunch of foolishness. That sex doll is not going to need a closet full of nothing, if you understand what I mean. You've got dresses, skirts, whatever you wear in your wardrobe, enough to clothe 10 women, and it still ain't enough. It's just utterly amazing. But listen, today if you're considering a woman, you had better check to see if she is a high mileage woman with a heavy body count. You better check to see, because there are multiple personalities that you're going to experience when a woman is high mileage and has a heavy body count. That means that she has had a lot of partners, because you're getting ready to deal with a lot of different personalities because of so much DNA. And most people today, especially most women today, since they're not in what you call a deliverance ministry, they have no clue or no idea what to do to purge themselves and get themselves right from that. But let me continue on. So anyway, Dr. Helen Smith, the author of this book, Men on Strike, she says that the laws in this country are opposed to men because it's all matriarchy by proxy. You know, I'm patriarchal. The Bible that I read is patriarchal. This world I thought it was patriarchal, but when you look at everything, it's really effeminate and it's really matriarchal. The whole entire system is. And then she made a statement on one show. She said that a 14-year-old boy, listen to me very closely, a 14-year-old boy is liable for child support if he gets a 34-year-old woman pregnant and she has a baby. Now, hey, she may do jail time or may not. And she had an attorney friend, I think in Knoxville, Tennessee, that did the research and found out that there has never been a case where a boy at that age has ever gotten off from paying child support. Now, you flip that script, and if there was a 34-year-old man having sex with a 14-year-old girl, you know what's getting ready to happen. You know what's getting ready to happen. Disproportionate injustice. I'm serious. But, man, I tell you, man, it's game over for the man if you flip the script. But, man, this guy, now all of a sudden they tell me that a 14-year-old is not rational in his thinking. He don't know what he's doing. But when they saddle him with that child support, all of a sudden he becomes this responsible, literate, keen, educated young man. It's off the chain what's going on today. And women are feeling denigrated by this sex doll industry because you continue to keep taking men out of the market for them. I mean, it's already, what is it now? I think it's like a 5-to-1 female to male ratio in the world or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but I will tell you this. I'm going to show you how great the odds get. When you start factoring in men being incarcerated, you factor in all these warrantless wars that men go in and die. You factor in homosexuality. You follow me? That right there in itself is already a 3-to-1. And then you go with MGTOW. That's 4-to-1. And then you go people who overdose on drugs. And they end up dying or they become drug addicts and they simply just not interested. That's 5. And then you got people who die in gangs, gang violence, and out on the streets. I mean, that's 6. And then you go to men who have been divorced. And they ain't never, ever, ever going to get married again because this system burnt them so bad and broke them so bad, they are terrified and they will never, ever do it again. I mean, never, ever do it again. And then you factor in transgender. And then, I could just continue to keep going on and on and on and on and on. And so the odds is becoming even greater as far as a woman being able to find a man or a man finding a woman. Because simply today, men, they just don't want this type of responsibility that this society is trying to tell them is righteous under these laws. Because they have seen exactly what happens to men. That is nothing for them. They get nothing out of it. There's no benefit whatsoever at all. Just like earlier. He can have all of that. He can have family. He can have love. He can have children, all without a state marriage license. And people do it every day, systemically, all of the time. Because in this society we live in, women are viewed as victims. More than men. It's like a man is never a victim. And you can actually see cases where a man is complaining that his wife is beating him. Now, I don't understand stuff like that, can't comprehend it. But you do know what happens. She can hit on you, but you turn around and hit on her, boy, they're going to throw a book at you. That's the reason why men, because of the laws of the United States of America, are opting out of dealing with these psychotic, idiotic, shape-shifting, double-minded, two-spirit, mentally insane, mentally unstable women. They like, man, I just go buy me a sex doll. And I don't have to deal with all that drama. It's just that simple. I have to deal with all them digression. Now, is there things that I can tell you right now? I don't know nothing about sex dolls, but there's a lot of things that sex dolls can't really do that a natural woman can do. But when you think about this, though, I mean, you think about a guy can get a sex doll made to specs, and she will never be obese. She would never get overweight. She would never murmur. She would never gripe. She would never complain. She would never stink. She would never. I mean, you think about that. Now, can it do some work? Can it do work? No. But the way technology is going, I wouldn't doubt that they're making sex dolls now that can cook and clean. I wouldn't doubt it. Now, me, that's some scary stuff. That's some sci-fi stuff right there. Can you imagine waking up and this thing don't never sleep? It's plugged up to the wall and stuff, and then all of a sudden it gets up on itself. Man, what if that thing turns around and have a Chucky, Jason, and Freddy Krueger moment on you? Boy, you better keep a gun. But see, hey, all I'm doing is just putting forth facts here. The media constantly denigrates the male identity, constantly tears up the male identity. And the media constantly portrays men, especially alpha males, in a negative light. They always get painted in a negative light. But you know the men that don't get painted in a negative light? I heard of a new term, and then when somebody showed me a picture of what it is called metrosexual, the first thing I said, that ain't no metrosexual, that's a homosexual. They said, no, it's a metrosexual. That's a homosexual. But see, men like that neuter themselves, they get praise. They get honor. They get glory because there's a system that's trying to do whatever it can to change the minds of people, and then it's trying to silence voices like me who are trying to tell you, or at least for trying to hold, at least trying to tell you that what you should be thinking and what's right and what's wrong. Because the way that this world is going right now, men reproductive rights are literally shrinking in this world. And so I think that you should spend some time, and I do mean time, before you rush into something, because, man, I just got finished dealing with a sister, a brother up here in Wisconsin. Just got finished dealing with a sister. This sister painted a picture like she was going to do this, she going to do that, and she was just all this and everything else. And she was pursuing this man. And one reason why she was pursuing him is because he's rich. He's a millionaire. And of course, but she wasn't going to change nothing about her. Nothing at all. And mind you, this man already done learned his lesson. He already been taken to the proverbial bank by a lying wife. He sure did. He said, I ain't fooling with that no more. So this time, if a woman is ever going to get set up with him, he knows how to test, prove, and try, and never let she fail the test, because whatever ideas that she had, it didn't work with him at all. But I hope that some way, somehow, I've said something that will at least cause you to, for you to talk, and have a bunch of talks. I mean, and both sides really consider, because personally, I think that a man has a role and a woman has a role. And we're dysfunctional in this society because there's a role reversal going on. I went to a church up in Green Bay, Wisconsin last month, and I saw the men acting like women, and I saw the women look and act like men. It's utter confusion. I did. I'm just telling you the facts of what I've seen, what I saw for myself. I mean,
And so I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to show you a little bit about that. Okay, I think he did a really good job. I really do. And I'm going to say this. What Pastor Dow talked about right there, the reason I put that up here is because of who he is. See, Pastor Dow, a few years back, actually came on to my radio show. And I had him up on Blog Talk Radio. I have a lot of respect for Pastor Dow because he is honest. He does touch a lot of good topics, okay, so I stick with it, okay. But you know, the thing is we see this in this Dr. Helen Smith. You can look her up. She's around to be found. I was watching some of her stuff. I'm not going to put that up here. But, you know, she's right here, okay? It looks like my thing's not wanting to transition me over. There we are. We'll get that over here. It's wanting to play games with me. That's all right. We'll get it over here. There it is. Okay, so anyhow. So Pastor Dow brought up a lot of good points. And this gal here, you know, yesterday's live stream, I did say that when I talked to all women, it was about the fact that, because you got to realize, even though this Helen Smith, this Dr. Helen Smith, she spoke the absolute truth all the way straight across the board. Okay, she really did. But, you know, she's only one person. She called out the mainstream media for exactly the same things I've been calling them out for, all the male shaming, the male shaming, the male shaming. Because the war is literally against the men, not the women. And the women are wanting to claim that the war is against them when it's not against them, and they know it's not against them. And they're trying to shut the man up, and that's what that is, okay? So that they can progressively progress with their power and their blah and their this and their that. But you know, when I hear him say he's seeing this with his own eyes, men acting like women and women acting like men, okay, he's correct. I'm seeing this myself. And, you know, so there is a role shift in the genders, without a doubt. There is a role shift going on. And men themselves are their own enemies. Even this Dr. Helen Smith talked about that. How men are literally throwing each other under the bus. Okay, and it's true. Men are using shaming tactics against other men and throwing other men under the bus to try to please a woman so that they can have a life of drama, a life of living hell, because that's what they're going to be living. Okay, so that they can be taken to the cleaners. And then they're going to be paying child support and alimony, and child support and alimony, and they're going to be paying for years to this woman. Okay? It's complete insanity. But it's everything I've said all along. You know, and I've said a lot of stuff. And I've talked a lot of stuff when it comes to the dating scene and how men and women are treating one another and how men are literally throwing each other under the bus. How men are so divided, fighting one another. Literally dumping on one another. Okay, and I see this going on all the time. And what do we do about it, you know? Men's got to get their heads out of there, you know what. That's really what that comes down to. You've got to get your heads out of your you know what. It's sad because it shouldn't be happening, but it is happening, isn't it? You know, and I give praise to Dr. Helen Smith for the fact that she came out, she wrote a book, and she's gone on and done interviews on mainstream media and Fox News. That guy was such a simp. He was such an vagina. Okay? You know, I could use other foul words that I used to use years ago, you know. And them thoughts did come to my mind, okay? I almost wanted to put the guy back in the toilet and flush him because he was just such a parasite. Okay? Telling men they need to stop crying and they need to man up and they need to take responsibility. Okay? And once again, throwing the man under the bus and leaving the women to absolutely have to take no responsibility for their own actions. And that's what you were seeing going on. And that did happen. Of course, it was Fox News. What did we expect, huh? That's really what did we actually expect to come out of that? But she did do a good job. She did speak up against the media, Hollywood, the commercials, the sitcoms, the movies, and everything is male bashing, okay? She did speak up against that, and she criticized men who are laughing at other men's and told them how serious it is, and which in reality, men who turn their back to this topic and want to go along with the shaming tactics and slam other men are part of the problem. They might as well, especially if they're so-called truthers speaking up against the powers to be, the Masons, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. If they're a so-called truther and they're speaking up of the corruption in our society and the false flags and the this and the that and the that, and then they're going to turn around and throw another man under the bus and call him a woman hater or a misogynist and tell him this and tell him that and try to use shaming tactics, then they should just really shut their mouth about the other part of the problem they're talking about, because they're actually walking side by side with evil. They're walking side by side with the very people they're speaking against, and they're going along with an agenda. They're helping keeping men divided. They're helping off of their own selfishness, okay? And and it's pathetic, I understand that the dating scene topic is a very personal issue. I understand your livelihood. If you ain't got somebody in your life, you can't get somebody in your life, is a personal issue. But you also understand the crap you're going through, and if you open your eyes and look around you, you see all the crap going on in today's society, and you see how we're treating one another, and you see it in the family life, you see it in the home structure, you see it. It's right in your face. Okay, I mean, it couldn't be more blatantly in your face than what it is. And then you're still going to sit there and turn your backs to this crap. And if you're going to turn your backs to it, something bad happens to you while your back's turned, it's because you deserve it to happen to you. Could have happened to somebody better, could have it. And as far as the sex robot things, what can I say? Pastor Dow said some good stuff there, didn't he? He says for the men who buy the sex robot, the one thing they can get guaranteed is they're not going to be paying alimony to some woman for the rest of her life. They're not going to be paying child support. They're not going to have to worry about bitching, whining, nagging, and drama. Because none of that will happen, now will it? Because that is what's replaced love in today's society, and it's disgusting. It's sick. It really is. I hate drama with a passion. I always have. Drama tends to fire me right up, but I always stand up for myself. When he said the men in today's society have no spine, he's correct. There's so many men so scared shitless of a woman that they won't speak up or stand up to her because they're so afraid of the consequences. Oh, they could lose their job. Or they could this, or they could that, and they could this. Okay, because I'm going up against a woman, or I'm going up against a woman. And then the conditioning, we're supposed to defend them and protect them, Why would you defend and protect somebody who's going to throw you under the bus the first chance they get? Why do you want to defend and protect somebody who don't give a flying fuck about you, but is going to, excuse my language, but is going to use all the words, all the proper words to convince you how much they care for you, while in their left hand they're holding a knife that they're stabbing you in the back with? Why would you want to even stick up for that? This is where men need to learn how to stand up for themselves. Doesn't matter what the damn gender is. Because she's a female, so hell what? What, anymore. That's why I give the analogy. Such women seem to be such man-haters in today's society. And our society hates men so bad that we have to use media. We have to use commercials, movies, and we have to use our sitcoms and all this stuff to keep male bashing. That's why I've said it before. How would the women like this? There'd be a big outcry in this country if we flipped the roles. It's no different than when that Helen Smith talked about the 14-year-old boy who got the 34-year-old woman pregnant. How the court systems are making him pay child support. This freaking shit is completely nuts. Okay? You turn that crap around. You let that be a 34-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl, and like Pastor Dow said, or even like Helen Smith said, You know where that guy's going. He's going to prison. But where did the woman go? Oh, that's right. She got a slap in the hand and told not to do it again. And meanwhile, the victim had to pay her money. But yet the man, if he turned that around, he was going to be spending a bunch of years in prison, put on a sex offenders list, wasn't he? Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the reason I showed you Pastor Dow's video from yesterday. Because Pastor Dow posted that video up yesterday, and he could have been more correct if he wanted to. I went up and I looked up this Helen Smith, this Dr. Helen Smith, and I'm going to applaud that female because that female told it as it is. And what I've said about men going their own way, unfortunately, here online, the majority, not all of them, but the majority of MGTOW are men that are TFLers into now. You can clearly see it. It stands out. But I'm not against a man going his own way if he sees the corruption in today's society and he opts out and don't want anything to do with it. I stand by him all the way, and he's legitimately a man going his own way. Okay? I'll never turn my back to that at all because that is the truth. Because why would you want to put yourself in that situation to begin with? You know, when I said it before, MGTOW is the answer to stopping this corruption and the divide amongst the genders. MGTOW is the answer. But men have to take it seriously. The one thing I liked about what Pastor Dow said is that men are opting out. Men are opting out. And the statistics are actually showing that there's men opting out. Well, that's good. I hope that progressively grows. Okay, I really do. I want to see that grow. I want to see women not able to get a man in their life. I want to see women live what they've been doing onto the men. Why? Because it's the only thing that's going to wake them up. Power and greed don't have no end. So, you know, it is literally the only thing that's going to wake them up. That's why MGTOW is, that's why I always agreed with the theory of MGTOW, which is men walking away from women, opting out. Not giving women the time of day. Because that is the only way. And, oh yeah, Steve Holka says men are too weak to opt out. I agree. I'm with Steve all the way, you know, but Pastor Dow brought this up. He brought the topic up, and he's going with some of the stuff he's seen. He's feeling there are more men opting out. And I think there probably is more men opting out than there was 5 years ago. But, you know, but at the same time, it's not enough. And then if you got freaking them bringing in foreigners across the damn freaking line, you know, if we have foreigners coming into this country at all, that's just going to be more men for these women. And, you know, and unfortunately, when men ain't going to stand up to a woman, just like what Pastor Dow said, no spine, won't stand up to the female, the only thing these men are doing is perpetuating the problem or making that problem grow. They're idiots. And I don't know how else to say it, but these men are complete, utter idiots. Okay? They can't say they're smart and they're intelligent because I guess their new smart and intelligent is the height of stupidity, dumbness. You know, I get very frustrated sometimes when I see this stuff. I have a family member in my own family that just disgusts me with his behavior. The stuff he puts up with. All because it's a female. That's not a man. You know, Pastor Dow said that right too. When this reporter on Fox said that men need to man up. Well, first you got to know what a man is to be able to man up. And since the majority of men have become women, it's a little hard for them to man up, ain't it? They might have to pussy up, right? Excuse my language, but isn't that what that really comes down to? The sex robot industry, yeah. He said, what was that, a $30 billion industry per year? And that there's more and more men buying these sex bots? Now, I haven't seen any in my area around me or know anybody personally that's bought one. But it wouldn't be hard for me to believe that that would be that kind of a market on them. I believe there actually would be that kind of market on them. You know? And oh, look at here. Stop watching Fox News, Bill. Whoever said I was watching Fox News, you? Where did you pull that out of? Did you just make that up? Pull that right out of your anal? Excuse my language. You must have just pulled that right out of your anal, huh? You made an assumption, now your foot's in your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about to sit there and tell me to stop watching something I'm not watching. Okay? I played a video in this here live stream, and if you wasn't here for it, that's not my stupidity. I guess you'll have to wait till this live stream comes back up and go watch it from the beginning. Then you'll see that you clearly stuck your foot in your mouth. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. And if you wasn't around to pay attention, maybe you should just practice listening rather than running mouth and making assumptions. See, that's another issue we have in today's society with people. They love to assume for other people and then open their mouth publicly and start shooting off their mouth not knowing what they're talking about because they convince themselves they know what they're talking about when they actually don't know what they're talking about and look like an idiot when they're done. But, you know, I ain't got a lot more to say, but I'm going to say this. Dr. Helen Smith. What I'm seeing out there, the last thing I seen was somebody posted up a video in 2017 of her different interviews. She is only one woman, but she did speak the absolute truth. She didn't hold back. She told the absolute truth. She had mainstream media trying to take her words and flip them. She had vaginas out here pushing a new world order, the mainstream agenda. Okay, so she ran right into this. Okay? And the sex doll thing, well, you know, even if it is, I haven't looked into it. But even if Pastor Dow, Pastor Dow speaks truth. It don't mean he may not be off on something because he very well could be. But I wouldn't put it past it if he says, Pastor Dow says he found some stuff suggesting that it's a $30 billion a year industry. I see that being possible. I really do. I see that being possible. Because there are that many men pushed into TFL or incel or that have been shit on by the system. So I do see that being possible. I don't think I would go down that road myself ever. I'm too old to care anyhow. But I wouldn't trust it. I would not trust it at all. If the sex doll industry takes off and people start buying them, I have yet to see it in my personal life. I don't know anybody that's bought one. I only see what the internet's showing you. And so until I actually witness or meet somebody or people come up and it starts showing up to be a reality in society, I'm going to have to say it's what it is right now, a fantasy online, huh? You know, and is it a $30 billion industry per year? Are they actually selling these things right now? Who knows? Maybe they are in another country. Maybe they're selling them overseas. In Japan. Who knows? I sure don't know. I'm not going to sit and say it ain't because I don't know for sure. Okay? I'm only going to tell you what I see in my own life because that's all I can do. You know? Would I buy one? No. Why would you want to spend the kind of money they'd be charging for them? And I wouldn't trust it anyhow. I'm with Pastor Dow on that one. You never know, man. With AI and AI being put into them, you don't know what else they put into these dang robots. You're going to bring a robot into your house in an evil world, evil people built these things, and you're going to trust your life on that? I wouldn't. I could understand where women would get jealous of it. They would become scared of it. Maybe that's a good thing. Because you need to have something to back the women up to get them to use their damn brains. You know, and yes, there are, you know, and when women are alone out here in today's society, they're alone because they're putting themselves to be alone. Yeah, women out there that don't choose to date no more because they don't want to date. You got other women that are so damn picky that they ain't going to choose somebody because they're being so picky that they've outpicked their own selves. They've outdone their own selves with their own pickiness is what that comes down to. So, you know, it's one of these things. I just have to say what I have to say. You know, I played Pastor Dow's video. I'm trying to refrain from playing other people's videos on my live streams. Okay, Pastor Dow, no, he was on my show. Pastor Dow was actually on my Blog Talk Radio show, and even though people already know I've told you how I feel about the Bible, religion, people that know me know already how I feel about that. But at the same token, I've told you before, I will not take somebody else's belief away from them. It's their right as a human being to have their own belief. And for like-minded people with that same belief, they have that right. Okay? That's part of being free and independent and individuality. And I'm not going to take that away from them. I stand by Pastor Dow. Regardless of what he believes, I stand by him because the man tells the truth. Now, I don't believe some of the stuff he believes when it comes to the Bible, religion, and stuff. I really don't. But I'm not going to fault somebody else for having that belief neither. Because that's just right out wrong. That's being a hypocrite. That's being evil. That's putting yourself in the elite shoes, man. That's been the control mentality. To tell other people what to think and how to feel and how to act. You can't speak up against evil and then become part of evil. Because if you're going to become part of evil and walk with evil, then you might as well shut your mouth about speaking against evil. So I won't do that. So, but I wanted to put that up there with Pastor Dow did yesterday because I thought that was very important to do. And what he talked about when it comes to Helen Smith, Dr. Helen Smith, she's got a bunch of stuff up here on YouTube you can find if you put in Dr. Helen Smith. You can watch her speeches, what she's saying. She's being correct. She's not lying. She's not deceiving. She's being honest straight across the board. And that is what counts to me, is the fact that she's being honest straight across the board. She's told God's honest truth right in your face. She's called out mainstream media and Hollywood for all the damn male shaming that they're putting out there in people's face. She's actually calling it as it is. She's the first woman I've seen that spoke out against the damn male shaming in Hollywood and commercials and stuff. And I applaud her for that. It's just other women. Too bad other women wouldn't see it and jump on board, but they're not because they're getting their entertainment factor out of it, ain't they? Because they're evil, because they're all selfishness and about their own selves. That's what that is. That's more all about my own self bullshit. Anyhow, with that being said, I'm going to jump on out of here for now. I might be back later on. We'll wait and see. Okay, I see Steve Hoka was in here for a little while. If Steve Hoka wants to do something tonight, he can let me know, and I'll come up and do something with him tonight. But that'll be up to him if he wants to or not. But I had to get up here and say something about this because of what it is. I really had to say something about this. And I talked about something yesterday. This person saying I'm developing a third eye. They need to take that and stick it, where. Okay. But, it's one of them things. But hey, maybe if I'm developing a third eye, that's a plus too, huh? Because it means I'm seeing more than you are, huh? Anyhow, with that being said, I think I'm going to get the heck on out of here. And look up Dr. Helen Smith. If you've never heard of her, look up her stuff and listen to it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's a good thing. I really do. And I would like to see more. I would like to see this grow. If women are becoming concerned, let them. They need to become concerned. The problem needs to grow. So it needs to grow to the point that women can't get nobody. Because it's the only way we're going to turn this back around and bring the genders back together. With that being said, I'm out of here, guys. And you all have a good one.